Welcome to the town of Rivermore. It's not your first time here, is it? No, I thought I recognized you. It's been quite a week here in the mountains of Cliffhaven. I should probably bring you up to speed. Let's see, where to begin? Well, yesterday was quite the shindig. The king himself was in town, you know, right here in Rivermore. You see, the ancient historical artifacts of the kingdom had gone missing long ago in the Great War. Chronicle runes, they're called. But they were discovered once again near Rivermore. When they had all been found, the king and his royal entourage came here to celebrate. And celebrate they did, late into the night, dancing and singing. People came from miles around to celebrate with the king.
What a wonderful night, wouldn't you say, Caius?
Winifred could hardly keep her feet from moving after dancing so long.
Indeed. I never thought I'd live to see Hadric tango. And actually, I think I could go without seeing it again.
I've never had so much fun,
said Rosalind, the king's daughter.
Winifred, why are you and Caius holding hands?
The two quickly uncoupled.
What?
Said Caius.
No, we're not. There was a fly on her hand. I was just removing it.
Winifred and Caius had been seeing each other for weeks, and they were very bad at hiding it. Winifred tried to change the subject.
Who's your friend, Rosalind?
Rosalind smiled and squeezed the man's arm.
Isn't he dreamy? He's my new boyfriend. His name is, what was your name again?
Vaughn, said the man.
His name is Vaughn. We've been dancing and talking all night, and it just feels like fate, doesn't it?
Caius took a good long look at Vaughn.
Aren't you that bandit that robbed Rivermore last month?
Vaughn's eyes opened rather widely.
What? No, that wasn't me. I just have one of those faces.
Vaughn laughed nervously as Caius leaned in closer.
No, it was you. The leader of that bandit gang. What was the name of it again? The Rugged Raiders?
The Craggy Marauders,
said Vaughn.
No, that wasn't me.
Winifred again tried to change the subject.
Yes, well, it's been a long day, and we need to get the Chronicle runes packed up first thing in the morning to send them off to Hollow's Keep. Why don't we call it a night?
As everyone went off to bed, it was all quiet in Rivermore, save for the low crackling of the fire as it simmered itself to sleep. Caius awoke the next morning and found Winifred enjoying a nice cup of tea on the veranda near the market.
You must have gotten up early,
he said.
I didn't expect all the runes to be packed up and shipped off already.
Winifred seemed confused.
What's that? I haven't packed anything yet. The runes are being guarded by Hadric over in the courtyard.
Caius looked back the way he'd come.
Well, I just came through the courtyard, and there were no runes there. And no Hadric.
Just then, Hadric stumbled by, dazed and confused.
Oh, goodness. What happened? My head is killing me.
Winifred did her best to show concern for Hadric.
Hadric, where are the runes?
I don't know,
said Hadric.
I remember something hitting me in the back of the head, and then I fell into the bushes and everything went dark. When I awoke, the runes were gone.
Princess Rosalind peeked her head around the corner.
Has anyone seen Vaughn?
Vaughn?
Said Hadric.
Who's Vaughn?
Oh, he's the leader of the Craggy Marauders bandit gang.
I knew it,
said Caius.
I just went to Vaughn's room, but his things are gone.
The runes!
Yelled Winifred. Rosalind looked at Winifred as if she'd lost her mind.
I beg your pardon?
The runes are missing, and so is Vaughan. That slippery little snake took them.
Princess Rosalind looked taken aback.
How dare you? My boyfriend would never do something so... Well, he is a bandit, so actually he probably would. Oh my goodness! I can't return home to my father without the runes. We have to go after him. Come on, everyone.
Do we even know where he might go?
Said Hadrick. The princess thought for a moment.
I think he said that he lives up the road near Sutton's Bridge. He must have taken the runes there.
Winifred grabbed her travelling pack.
We haven't a moment to spare.
A little ways down the road, Caius stopped and picked up a rune that had fallen by the wayside.
What's this?
He said.
Come on, Caius. No time for dillying or dallying.
Hadrick came over to take a closer look.
We might want to dilly just a bit, Winifred. I think Caius has found a chronicle rune.
Is it really? Do you think that Vaughan dropped it on purpose? He must be leaving a clue for me, because I'm his one true love.
Hadrick seemed skeptical.
I think it probably just fell off the wagon. These are bumpy roads, after all. We may find some more if we're lucky. Should give us an easy way to follow his path. Come on, everyone.
Are we stopping for lunch any time soon? I brought biscuits.
The party was halfway to Sutton's Bridge when they sat down to camp for the night.
Princess Rosalind,
Said Caius.
I'm sorry that your new boyfriend turned out to be a thief and a liar. It must be terribly disappointing for you.
The princess smiled at the mention of Vaughan.
Oh no, Caius, this is all just a misunderstanding. I'm sure he didn't take the runes on purpose.
Caius thought for a moment.
So you think Vaughan packed up several £100 of carved rocks into a wagon and left town with them? By accident?
Princess Rosalind wasn't much paying attention.
Did you happen to catch Vaughan's last name? I'm wondering if I should take his name, or perhaps hyphenate.
Take his name? For what?
Said Caius.
When we get married, silly.
Hadrick walked in just then from gathering more wood for the fire.
The two of you are getting married? She's a bit young, don't you think, Caius?
Caius gasped.
What? No, we're not getting married. Nothing of the sort.
I thought you and Winifred were together. What with all the dancing and hand-holding?
Caius's mouth fell open.
I'm not. Winifred and I are just friends.
Yes, smooching friends.
The princess mumbled to herself. Caius went all red in the face.
I would never smooch Winifred.
Just then, Winifred appeared.
You wouldn't?
She said disappointingly.
Oh, Winifred. I didn't see you there. I mean, of course, if the conditions were amenable, and said deed was reciprocal, and of course entirely consensual, in which case, certainly it is possible that one could engage in the act of, smooching.
Princess Rosalind looked around the campfire.
He's really bad at this.
Winifred nodded her head in agreement. On the morning of the third day, the party from Rivermore approached a small village on the South Fork River.
This must be Sutton's Bridge,
Said Hadrick.
Should we try the shop? Perhaps someone there saw Vaughan come through.
The local shopkeeper stepped outside to feed the chickens.
Excuse me,
Said Winifred.
do you have a moment?
The shopkeeper looked at them all suspiciously.
You lot here for the Turnip Festival?
Winifred glanced at Hadrick.
Are we here for the turnip? No, we're not. You have a turnip festival?
Didn't think so.
Said the shopkeeper.
You don't look like turnip folk.
Hadrick wasn't sure whether to be offended.
What do turnip folk look like? Oh, you know what, it doesn't matter. We're looking for a man that we think may have come this way. A bandit, goes by the name of Vaughan.
Aye, I seen him come through. Stopped by the shop looking to buy a map of the northern lands. And a fur coat. Had a big wagon with him, covered up tight.
The northern lands? You mean Cliffhaven?
Said Hadrick.
Nothing up there but frostbite and Dunver folk.
Princess Rosalind wondered aloud.
You don't think he's going to try to sell the runes to the Dunver, do you?
Winifred was clearly worried.
The Dunver are a violent, nomadic people. It would be dangerous to go that way, though I can see why Vaughan would try to sell the runes to them. The Dunver hate the kingdom. I'm sure they'd love to get their hands on such treasured items.
Oh, of course! He's doing all of this to pay for our wedding.
Winifred rolled her eyes.
Oh, darling, he's not.
The princess smiled and went skipping off into the shop to look for jewelry for the wedding. Just then, Caius walked out of the shop.
Look, they have fur coats.
You'll all want fur coats if you're heading north.
Said the shopkeeper.
10% off for the Turnip Festival.
Ooh, there's a turnip festival?
Winifred and Hadrick filled Caius in on everything he'd missed.
We can't all go north. Someone needs to stay behind and take care of things in Rivermore. Caius, I think that should be you.
Why me?
Said Caius, his feelings a bit hurt.
I want to go north too.
Winifred grabbed his hand.
Caius, who else knows how much water to give to the vegetables? And who else knows how to close the front gate when the lock begins to stick? And who else knows how to make the rabbits laugh when they seem sad?
Caius thought it over a bit.
The rabbits do get awfully sad. That's true. All right, I will return to Rivermore. Everyone be safe. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. And, Winifred.
Winifred took a step closer.
Yes, Caius?
Caius's mouth felt a bit dry as he leaned in toward her. Winifred's eyes widened. The tension in the air was palpable.
Are you two gonna kiss?
Interrupted Hadrick. Caius pulled away.
I'll see you when you get back.
Yes, when I get back. Safe travels.
On the cold path up the mountains of Cliffhaven, Winifred, Hadrick, and Rosalind made camp for the night.
Hadrick,
Said Winifred.
do you think Caius made it home to Rivermore safely?
Hadrick stoked the fire with a long stick.
Would have heard screaming if he didn't.
Said Hadrick.
Screaming? But he's miles away.
Hadrick smiled across the fire.
You obviously never heard Caius scream. Like a young girl. Or a warthog, perhaps.
I wish there was some way for us to communicate with him.
Just as Winifred spoke, a wise old owl flew down from the trees and landed on the log next to her.
Oh, my.
Said Winifred.
Well, hello there, Mr. Owl.
The owl ever so slowly scooted closer to Winifred. Then lifted its wing to reveal a small satchel strapped to the owl's underside. Hadrick looked closely.
Does that owl have a purse?
It's a satchel, Hadrick. Women have purses, men have satchels.
Hadrick seemed confused.
What's the difference?
Winifred thought for a moment.
The spelling, I suppose?
Well, go on then. Open it up. He must be trying to give you something.
Winifred slowly opened the satchel, so as not to startle the old owl.
Oh, it's a letter from Caius. And look, it's one of my hair clips. That must be how Caius got the owl to track my scent. Oh, and one of your old socks is in here too.
Hadrick seemed impatient.
Well, what does it say?
Winifred looked closely at the sock.
It's a sock, Hadrick. It doesn't say anything.
The letter, Winifred. What does the letter say?
Oh, right.
Winifred opened the letter and began to read.
Let's see. My dearest Winifred. Oh, oh, Caius, you... oh my, Caius.
Hadrick was getting annoyed.
Well, is there anything important in the letter?
Oh, yes, very important. Not for you, though. I should write back to him. May I borrow your quill?
Very well, but make it quick. And ask him to send more of those butter biscuits.
Back in Rivermore, Caius was doing his best to keep things in good running order.
This darn gate keeps sticking. If it won't close, then the rabbits might get out.
Just then, the wise old owl flew down and landed on a branch next to Caius. Said the owl.
Oh, hello, Bernard.
Said Caius. Wait, Caius named the owl Bernard?
Were you able to find Winifred?
said the owl, said Bernard. Caius opened the owl's satchel and began to read the letter from Winifred.
Oh, I see they're almost to Dunver territory. Let's see, what else? Very cold. Something about smooching. Butter biscuits. Yes, that's true, Bernard. I should write a letter back, though I must find just the right words. Ahem. Dearest Winifred, your hair is like the dew on a summer's meadow. No, dew is a bit too sticky. Dearest Winifred, your hair is like dried wheat.
Winifred, Hadrick, and Rosalind continued their trek up the mountains.
I think we're getting close to Dunver territory,
said Hadrick.
How do you know for sure?
Asked Princess Rosalind. Just then, a large Dunver man appeared, dressed in furs and carrying an enormous axe.
Well,
said Hadrick.
I just have a hunch.
The man stepped forward to block the path.
That's far enough. State your business here in the Dunver lands.
Winifred stepped forward.
We're searching for a man.
But she was cut off quickly by Princess Rosalind.
Winifred, allow me. I understand how to talk to these sorts of people.
Rosalind looked sternly at the Dunver man.
We, friend. You, help friend. Bandit man. Very good looking. We search for bandit.
The Dunver man looked at Winifred.
Why is she talking to me like that?
Winifred rolled her eyes.
She fell and hit her head, probably. We're looking for a man, a bandit named Vaughan. He stole something from us.
Runes?
Said the man.
Yes. How did you know?
The man stepped to the side of the road and began fishing a rock out of his boot.
He was here. He tried to sell us the runes. He must not have heard of our recent peace treaty with the king. We threw him in jail.
You threw my fiancé in jail?
Winifred tried to calm Rosalind.
His wedding plans didn't come up at the time, but yes, he's in our prison up the road. Belmer Outpost.
Hadrick thought for a moment.
So you have the runes, then?
No. This Vaughn, was it? He didn't have the runes with him. We assume he hid them somewhere nearby, so we've had our men searching the woods.
Winifred stepped forward.
Can you take us to the prison?
I suppose. Just keep that one from talking,
he said, gesturing toward the princess. The four of them then set off up the trail toward the Dunver prison, Belmer Outpost. On the way up the mountain toward Belmer Outpost, the party sat down for the night and built a fire. Hadrick and the Dunver man argued over the best method for stacking firewood.
You know, I don't believe you told us your name.
The Dunver man seemed agitated as he poked at the glimmering embers.
It's not important,
he said.
Let's just get to the outpost and you can be on your way.
This made Hadrick especially curious.
Is it Rupert?
He said.
What? No, my name is not Rupert.
Not Rupert went back to stoking the fire. Hadrick thought some more.
Is it Boris?
He guessed again.
Boris? Do I look like a Boris to you?
Hadrick squinted and leaned forward.
A little bit, yeah.
The Dunver man stood up abruptly.
All right, look. My name is Gus.
Winifred and Hadrick glanced at each other with equally confused stares.
What's wrong with the name Gus?
Asked Winifred.
I've got a third cousin named Gus.
Is it short for asparagus?
Asked Gus. Winifred stared blankly.
No, it is not.
Yes, well, my mother liked vegetables.
Said Gus unapologetically.
Speaking of, where is Princess Rosalind?
Speaking of vegetables?
Said Hadrick.
I think the princess said she was walking down to the falls to fetch some water. I'm sure she'll be back soon.
We should get some rest. We have a long walk ahead of us.
Said Gus as he removed his boots. The three of them settled into their bedrolls and listened to the crackling of the fire.
So, should I call you Mr. Asparagus?
Said Hadrick.
Gus will do just fine, thank you.
In the late afternoon, the party made their way through the front gate and into the courtyard of the Dunver prison, Belmare Outpost.
Wait here.
Said Gus.
I'll go and retrieve the prisoner for you.
It's Vaughan. His name is Vaughan, not prisoner.
Well, I know I'll be glad to be done with this.
Said Winifred.
Can't wait to sleep in my own bed again.
Me too. I mean in my bed. Not in Winifred's bed.
Winifred looked around for potential lodgings.
Shall we stay the night here before heading back? I could use a fresh start for the journey home.
Just then, Gus returned from the prison.
So, bit of a snag. Your bandit friend appears to have escaped during the night.
What?
Blew a hole straight through the back of the prison. With what? I don't know. You ask me, I'd say he has an accomplice. There's no way he could have snuck explosives in with him.
Oh, good gracious.
Said Hadrick.
Do you have any idea where he may have gone?
Gus thought for a moment.
Well, his cell led right out to an old path that heads down the eastern slope of the mountain toward the sea. He can't have gone any other way.
Well, thanks for nothing, Mr. Asparagus.
It was mid-morning in Rivermore, and Caius was digging a new well next to the bakery when Bernard the Owl came swooping in from over a hill.
Oh, Bernard, back from the mountains, are you? How goes the search party?
Said Bernard.
Ah, another letter from Winifred? Let's see what it says.
Caius took the letter from the owl's satchel and found it to be ripped into many pieces.
Did you try to read this, Bernard? We've talked about this. Your claws are too sharp. Now I can barely read it. All right, apology accepted. Well, perhaps there are some bits I can still make out. Let's see. Something about a Dunver man. An explosion. Vaughan's hair is so silky. Did Princess Rosalind write this?
When Hadrick, Winifred, and Princess Rosalind reached the coast of the East End Sea, they came across a sailor working on his boat near the water.
Excuse me, sir.
Said Hadrick.
Have you perhaps seen a young man come by this way?
Princess Rosalind felt the need to clarify.
Yes, a very, very good-looking man. Dark, penetrating eyes, roguish cheeks.
Oh, do you mean Vaughan?
Said the sailor.
Yeah, he was here this afternoon. Had a big wagon with him, full of something heavy. Traded in my old diggy boat for these here boots.
Do you have any idea where he might be headed?
Asked Hadrick.
Off to the right, I'd say.
Hadrick looked confused.
I'm sorry?
No, the boat I sold him never did sail straight. Always drifts off to the right.
Oh, can you be more specific?
The sailor thought for a moment.
You know, I do remember him mentioning something about Mirkwell.
Mirkwell Forest?
Asked Rosalind.
Yeah, just across the sea. Though I'm not sure why anyone would go there. Only one person living in Mirkwell that I knows of. A crazy old alchemist. I think his name's Steve.
Winifred seemed worried.
Mirkwell is a dangerous place. I'd rather not venture in there, but I'm not sure we have a choice.
I'm headed out fishing now.
Said the sailor.
I can give you passage across the sea to Mirkwell if you'd like.
They agreed and thanked the sailor for the aid as they all stepped onto the boat.
Right then, let's be off. Keep your hands inside the boat and watch out for the killer eels.
The what now?
As the group made their way across the sea, Winifred looked out over the waves as Hadrick snored in the background, and Princess Rosalind tried to clean mud from the bottom of her dress.
I can't thank you enough for letting us use your boat.
Said Winifred. The sailor looked up from adjusting the wind sails.
What's that? Oh, it's not my boat.
This is not your boat?
Nope, just found it on the shore back there. Not sure whose it is. Figured they wouldn't need it for a bit, but yes, you're welcome.
On the following morning, the boat made its way into the eastern shore.
Here we are then.
The sailor dropped anchor and lowered the sails.
That path there will lead north to Mirkwell. Oh, and look! There's the boat I sold to Vorn.
Hadrick hopped over the edge into the shallow water and began pulling the boat into shore.
So we're on his trail then. I see the wagon tracks heading that way as well.
Princess Rosalind stepped up to the edge of the boat.
Come now, Hadrick. Carry me to the path.
Hadrick smirked and walked off in the other direction.
Excuse me?
Said the princess, rather annoyed.
I'm not about to get my dress wet again.
Hadrick reached into his satchel and threw a towel to the princess.
Well, I never.
Yelled the princess, just before she slipped and fell face first into the muddy water.
Ah!
Winifred, Hadrick, and Rosalind approached the dark entrance to Mirkwell Forest.
Well,
Said Winifred as she peered into the eerie wood.
there it is. Mirkwell Forest. I used to read scary stories about this place when I was a child. Never thought I'd find myself walking into it.
Princess Rosalind thought for a moment.
You could cartwheel into it instead. Would that help?
Oh, yes.
Said Winifred.
That will make it all better.
Rosalind smiled, quite proud of herself.
Glad to help.
Deep in Mirkwell Forest, the group walked along looking for any signs of the bandit Vaughn, when they came upon a cabin and a large wooden platform.
I wonder if this is the home of that alchemist.
Said Winifred. Just then, a strange man stepped out of the wood toward them.
You must be looking for my airship,
Said the man.
Airship?
Asked Hadrick.
Oh, you're curious about my airship, I see. Well, this is certainly where I would keep my airship, if I had one. But I don't. At least not anymore. Stolen it was. I was tricked by a traveler named Ron.
Do you mean Vaughan?
Asked Rosalind. The man thought for a moment.
Pretty sure it was Ron.
He pointed to his forehead.
Like a steel trap. The name is Shepley, by the way.
Right.
Said Winifred.
Well, Shepley, do you have any idea where, Ron might have flown your airship?
Oh, you can't fly it.
Said Shepley.
I mean, it'll fly, but you can't fly it. I haven't added any steering yet. Wherever he's headed, well, that's where he's headed.
That means he's going any way the wind blows.
Said Hadrick.
It's been blowing southwest since yesterday, but how are we going to follow so quickly?
You could take the South Fork River if you've got a boat.
Shepley told them.
Or some inner tubes. Maybe those ones with cup holders. Take a nice drink with you.
Winifred's eyes widened.
What about Vaughan's dinghy? He left it back at the shore. We could take that down the South Fork River to follow him more quickly.
Shepley looked at the three of them with a big smile.
Why, I really am surprised you all are so worried about my airship. Can't believe you're willing to chase down a bandit just to get it back for me.
Hadrick tried to find the words.
Yes, well, we just really hate airship theft.
Shepley nodded in agreement and offered some parting advice.
Keep an eye out for smoke trails. That will help you track the ship. We'll bring Ron to justice together.
Winifred, tighten up that sail there. Turn it 5 degrees to the right.
I'm a bit busy, Hadrick. I'm right at the good part of my book.
Oh, of course. Not a problem. We'll just crash into those rocks over there. Wouldn't want to ruin a riveting plot line.
I heard that.
Pull over, Hadrick. I need to stretch my legs.
But we just stopped an hour ago.
Has it been a full hour? Well, that must be why I'm so tired. Let's stop here for the day.
It's 10:30 in the morning.
Does this river connect back near Rivermore? I would so love to stop in and see Kaya's. I mean, feed my cats.
But you don't have any cats.
Well, I was thinking about getting some.
Halfway down the South Fork River, The boat was fast approaching a stretch of roaring rapids. Hadrick was skeptical they could make it through unscathed.
I think perhaps we should embark here. Take the path south around the mountains.
Princess Rosalind wasn't so keen on the idea.
But what about the boat? Are we going to walk all the way back to Rivermore? Vaughan will be halfway to the capital before we get there.
Hadrick thought for a moment.
We could let the boat brace the rapids on its own, hope it survives and washes up on shore where the path meets back up downriver.
Winifred nodded.
As much as I hate agreeing with you, Hadrick, I don't see a better idea.
Right then.
Said Hadrick as he began gathering up their things.
Let's have lunch here on the shore before we set off on foot. Do we have any more pickles?
Just as Princess Rosalind was feeling right sick of walking, she climbed over a hill and saw the river once again.
Look, we're back to the river.
Winifred peered down the way and spotted their boat caught in the brush along the north side of the water.
Ah, the boat made it through, but it's caught on the other side of the river. Hadrick, be a dear and swim across to get the boat loose.
Why do I have to swim across?
Hadrick complained.
Because,
Said Winifred.
that's a man's duty.
It's true. I was raised to believe that the women do the cooking and the men do the swimming across rivers to retrieve boats.
Oh, this is Sutton's Bridge. Now I know where we are, I think.
I've lost sight of the airship smoke trail. I'm not sure where to go from here.
Might as well stop in Rivermore, replenish supplies, see if anyone saw where Vaughan's airship was headed.
Yes, and get some more of those butter biscuits.
At long last, Hadrick, Winifred, and Princess Rosalind finally returned to the quaint little town of Rivermore. Though they returned empty-handed, having yet to find the bandit Vaughan who stole their chronicle runes. Caius was in the town square scolding a young boy who had tied Caius's shoelaces together.
Winifred? Oh, you've returned.
Caius and Winifred embraced, unashamed, and, well, let's just say that they hugged. Hadrick looked on awkwardly, waiting to be greeted.
Yes, I'm here too, Caius.
Oh,
Said Caius.
Did you want a hug too, Hadrick?
Hadrick stepped back.
I think I'll be all right without one. We can't stay for long. We're still on the hunt for that bandit. It seems he's stolen an airship and headed this way.
Princess Rosalind butted in from the background.
The airship is probably for our wedding travels. It's so romantic.
Is that what that was?
Said Caius.
We saw something fly overhead earlier this morning. Left a long trail of smoke, headed southwest, toward Hearthfire Valley.
Brilliant.
Said Winifred.
Then that's where we're headed. Let's just get stocked up on supplies, rest for the night, and we'll be on our way.
Caius stepped forward.
Can I go with you this time?
As the group made their way into Hearthfire Valley, the air around them grew hot, and dangerous lava boiled on all sides.
Good gracious!
Said Caius.
I think my eyebrows have singed off.
Keep your cloaks pulled up.
Hadrick advised.
Don't want them catching on fire. I think there may be a lake up ahead. We can cool off there.
Winifred and Rosalind took up the rear, stumbling over some boulders.
Well, we're not going to burn to death, that's for sure.
Said Princess Rosalind.
That's the spirit.
Yelled Hadrick.
Good positive thinking, Princess.
The princess climbed up on a nearby rock to finish her thought.
No, we're much more likely to die of dehydration first.
Further up the valley, the bandit Vaughan had finally crashed his airship along the shore of Azamar Lake and was making his way through the mountain forest.
Aha! I've got you now, you blasted badger. That's the last time you steal my radishes.
The two men stared at each other for a moment.
You're not a badger,
said the man.
How very perceptive of you.
Well, why are you in my badger trap?
You seem to think I had a choice in this.
Said Vaughan. The man stepped forward and saw the wagon full of runes.
Those are chronicle runes.
Vaughn tried to think quickly.
It's not what it looks like.
Did you steal the Chronicle runes from the festival in Rivermore?
Asked the man.
Oh, okay, it is what it looks like.
When the party reached Azamar Lake, a hooded man stepped out of the woods to confront them.
Beware in these parts. Bandits and evildoers lurk nearby,
Oh,
said Hadrick.
that's actually exactly what we're looking for. A bandit brought an airship this way.
The man furrowed his brow.
A bandit, huh? Pompous, irritatingly self-absorbed.
Devilishly handsome.
Said the princess from out of nowhere.
I'm not sure about the handsome part, but yes, I believe I encountered the bandit you seek. I have him trapped in a cage. It seems he was trying to steal my radishes and got caught.
Winifred stepped forward.
You didn't let him out?
Well, I tried, but I lost the key. Perhaps you could help me find it.
Said the man as he gestured towards the woods.
Oh, could we not?
Begged Hadrick.
I love the idea of Vaughn staying in a cage as long as possible.
The name's Amadeus, by the way.
Said Amadeus.
I have your runes, if that's what you're looking for. I need that cage to catch the badger that keeps eating my radishes. Help me find the key, and you can have the runes and the cretin who stole them from you.
Lead the way.
Said Princess Rosalind as they all marched off into the wood together.
I think I found the airship. Hey, where are you guys going?
Amadeus noticed his cage key in Hadrick's hand.
Ah, is that my key? I suppose you'll be wanting your bandit back. I'll let him out.
Ah, that's better.
Said Vaughn as he stretched his arms out. Amadeus set the cage off to the side.
I'll go retrieve those Chronicle runes for you.
Well, I hope you're proud of yourself.
Said Winifred.
We've been chasing you all over the kingdom. Did you really think you could get away with this?
But just as Vaughn began to speak, Princess Rosalind appeared next to him.
Bravo, everyone. You did it. You won the game.
Winifred and Hadrick seemed confused.
We won the game?
I thought it would be fun to have an adventure together, so I asked Vaughn to pretend to steal the runes. I didn't think it would take quite this long to find him, but wasn't it a wonderful bonding experience?
A bonding experience?
Yelled Winifred.
Why, the nerve. Hold me back, Hadrick.
What? Oh, right.
Hadrick reached out and pretended to hold Winifred back.
Ugh, I can't even look at her.
Winifred stomped away in disgust.
Well,
Said Vaughn.
shall we return to Rivermore?
Just then, Caius appeared from behind a tree.
Hadrick, look! I found the bandit!